So today I want to talk to you guys about the pros and cons of Turkey. I've been here for almost 3 months, and so there's a few things I learned and I want to talk to you guys about that. All right, so these are the pros and cons of Turkey. Now, I'm not here to kind of like bash on Turkey or talk negative about Turkey. That's not the point. I think this is just to kind of show you guys what to expect, especially for newcomers, so you get a much better expectation when you come here. So in no way am I talking negative about Turkey in any way, so if you get offended, don't be. I just want to make sure you know that. There's a few things that I noticed. If you're coming into Turkey, it's good to know these things so you always leave Turkey with a great experience. And I don't want you to come here and not to know these things, and then you might leave Turkey with a bad experience, because I know it's happened to some people. Let me explain to you guys exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Number one, prices vary depending on who you are and where you're from. Let me explain. Whether you're here for short-term or long-term, you need to know a few words. So one of the pros is that it's cheap. Everything's very affordable, whether it's rent, housing, things you want to buy in the market, in the bazaar, if you want to go shopping around. Very affordable prices. Now, one of the cons to that is that if you don't speak Turkish, you're not going to get the best price. Whether it's in a restaurant, at the bazaar, or anything, for example, rent, and you're only doing short-term, you want to make sure you do your research. But here's the thing. For example, if I start speaking English and ask them how much, the price is $10, right? But if I start speaking to them in Turkish, they'll probably give it to me for $2. And that's why you need to know a few Turkish words before you come into the country, such as kaç para, that means how much. So that is very important. You need to know that. That's the key goal right there. And know a few numbers on how to understand prices and that sort of stuff before you come to Turkey. For short-term or long-term, make sure you know a few numbers to understand prices and also how to communicate, whether it's ordering food and such. And that's the other thing that's a con, I guess, to me. It's food prices are mostly not labeled in restaurants, at the shops. You'll have to ask them, and I think this is done on purpose because they want you to ask them and they'll give you a price that's kind of custom-made towards who you are. If you're a traveler coming in, or whether you're a foreigner or local, prices will vary. Make sure you know a few Turkish words such as how much, chicken, beef, 1, 2, sandwich, what drinks you want. And once you have that on lockdown, then you're probably going to pay a lot less than most foreigners. And I think that's one mistake that most foreigners make, is that they don't know how to speak to the locals in their local language. Smoking, cigarettes. The pro is it's really cheap. I think for a pack of cigarettes here, you could pay for $1.50 Canadian, like $1 American, right? Or if you want something American, like a Winston, I think it's American, you get it for about $2 American, or $1.50 Canadian, $2 American, or about $2.50 Canadian. And it's cheap. Cigarettes are cheap. Now the downside to that is I don't really mind smokers and cigarettes and that sort of stuff, but when I'm eating, it's one of my pet peeves to have somebody smoke around me. It just ruins my entire appetite and ruins the experience of the restaurant. And most restaurants here, I think they're getting into it. They're banning cigarettes all over the place, but there are some restaurants that do not follow that rule. So you might be eating and the person next to you starts to, just light up a cigarette right next to you, and the smoke is getting in the way. I actually had to leave the restaurant once because of that. Just as I was about to enjoy my meal, buddy next to me starts to, light up a cigarette next to me because he finished his. The smoke was getting in the way, and I lost my appetite, and it does that to me. And I'm sure for a lot of people, you get the same kind of feeling. So smoking, pros and cons of that. Cats and dogs. Look, we all love them, okay? In Turkey, there's a lot of stray dogs. That's the only con I could say about that. When it comes to cats, I don't really mind. Once I in Istanbul, I had to kind of turn around because I saw like 4 or 5 dogs just hanging around the street, and I'm just like, all right, I don't want to go that way. I had to go make a detour, go up a hill, and that sort of stuff. There's not a single country that I've seen so far as I traveled, such as Turkey, and people really take care of the street dogs here. I've seen them being fed. I've seen people taking the cats and dogs into the cafe, into the restaurants for shelter during cold days. It's such a wonderful feeling to even see that. And you'll even see that all over Turkey. There's houses made for cats and dogs on the street. People put food for them. They really take care of them. And when you see their dogs and cats on the street, they look like they're very well groomed and well taken care of, well fed. And it's a wonderful thing to see, and I truly love it. I absolutely love it, and it's so great. And you're never gonna get an experience like that when it comes to, you know, street pets, I guess you could call it. Now, this one is kind of tailored only towards Istanbul. Scams. Scams are in Istanbul, they're flourishing, they're everywhere. It's in a restaurant. Like I said, people don't put prices on things, they'll give it to you for a lot more expensive. I've seen people pay less right in front of me while I was paying double or triple more. And it kind of like ruined the experience of when I first came to Turkey, because the first place I landed was in Istanbul. And I understood like what was going on. And for me, it's a little bit easier to blend in, as you can see by my complexion. I'm a brunette. In Istanbul, when I started to speak to them in English, I was getting different prices for food and everything. So that's one scam. But then there is like shoe shining scams, which I almost fell for once. So what they do is they drop like a brush they shine your shoe with in front of you. You pick it up and they're like, oh, let me and you think, all right, he's kind of helping me because he wants to shine my shoe for free. Then they'll give you a ridiculous price, like $40, $20 or something like that. The other thing is, like, for example, like I was in Istanbul and there's a buddy that was like trying to sell me a cologne on Taksim, and I said no to him 2, 3 times, 4 times. It wasn't enough, and I started to walk away. Kid you not, this guy followed me for like 10 minutes straight. I went into a restaurant, he was waiting for me outside. And the other thing is alcohol scams. So alcohol scams, you really got to be careful with this one, guys, especially for the single men out there. You'll get maybe like a girl or two, they'll start becoming friends with you, and they'll talk to you a little bit, then they'll tell you, hey, let's go have a drink. And you know, you're all excited, you just met a Turkish girl, you go into the bar, and they'll sit you down, they'll put a beer, a drink, a cocktail, and next thing you know, the bill comes. I'm not even kidding. Sometimes the bill will come for a few $100 up to $1,000. And you cannot argue with these guys. Now you're in their territory. They won't let you go. So you don't want to end up in that situation. Trust me, when it comes to alcohol scams, they're actually very dangerous. Don't do it. Understand who you're going to drinks with. Make sure they're your friend, someone you actually know. Don't just casually go with a stranger into a bar. You know, that's the only thing I can say. So watch out for scams, alcohol scams, shoe shiny scams, price scams, right? There's a variety of scams, and it's only tailored toward Istanbul. I would really watch out for that. Istanbul scams, yes, they're everywhere. Once you get out of Istanbul, it's almost very rare that happens. But maybe the prices, you gotta still kind of work your way through the prices. So the other thing is transportation. One of the pros is, so transportation in Turkey, it's super easy. You can get to anywhere you want. There's trains, buses, airplanes, and they're all very cheap. You can get yourself a ticket from Istanbul to Antalya for about $40. So flights are cheap, buses are cheap, trains are cheap. Transportation is very easy to get around in Istanbul and other cities. Taxis are super cheap. Most taxis have a meter. Now that's the other thing. When you're looking at taxis, look at the meter. Usually their meters are on their mirror inside the yellow taxis. I would not get into a taxi that's unregistered. Uber is around here as well. And with Uber, once you order an Uber, you're gonna see a yellow taxi pull up because they use the same exact system. The cons to that is many cities that you want to go to, such as the one I'm in, Marmaris, there are no airports nearby. The nearest airport is about a 2-hour bus ride from here. For example, if you want to go to Kaş or Kalkan, you have to go to Antalya. From Antalya, you got to take a bus there. Where I am in Marmaris, I arrived to Dalaman Airport, and from Dalaman Airport, I took a bus ride to here. It was a 2-hour bus ride, only about $6. And honestly, the scenery was gorgeous anyways coming here. So very cheap, very affordable getting around. That's it. That's all I got to say about transportation. is probably the best thing in Turkey. Look, you're gonna get the best food for the cheapest prices here. And just make sure you ask for the price first, or you look at their menu and see the prices. If you don't see a menu, ask for the price and try to speak to them in Turkish. If you're someone here living long term, that's something you gotta get on lockdown, which is speaking Turkish a little bit, asking how much, ordering your meal in whether it's chicken, beef, what you want on it, bread or not. Get that straight. There's no cons to that. Believe me, when it comes to Turkey, food is the best thing you can have. There's so much variety. There's a hint of so many cultures in their food here, such as Persian, Mongolian, European. It's all in the food in Turkey, and there's so much to try. So the reason why I came here today anyways is to try kokoreç. If you don't know what that is, it's cow intestines or sheep intestines. So the main reason I'm actually here today is I came here to try kokoreç at a buddy's restaurant I met a couple of weeks ago. He invited me, he told me to come back when he comes back from vacation. So I'm gonna go see him today and I'm gonna try his kokoreç. And the way I met him is on the way back coming from these mountains on a motorbike. I noticed him on a Harley Davidson. We started a conversation. He told me he had a restaurant and to come back. We had a couple of drinks together and he told me to come back a couple of weeks later so we could try kokoreç. He's getting barbecue and stuff. That's another pro thing about Turkey. You're gonna make friends so easily. I have people on my phone now. I could call them up, we go out for drinks, we have fun together, but it's so easy to make friends in Turkey. People are super friendly here in Turkey. Turkish people are just great friends. And when it comes to hospitality, Turkish people know how to provide that, believe me. Now, this is the other one I want to talk about. It's the weather. So weather, look, from anytime from March all the way to like October, even sometime in November, the weather is wonderful. If you're coming here to live or for travel, those are the months you want to come in. It's just beautiful, super great weather, and barely any rain in some areas, so you're gonna really enjoy your time while you're here. But when it comes anywhere between November, December, January, February, if you're only here for 2 weeks, I wouldn't really recommend it. It's cold, so usually around here it's about 15, 16 degrees average around this time of the year. But today I'm actually 11 degrees Celsius, so it's kind of chilly. No one's on the beach. I have the place to myself, and that's the reason why. It gets really quiet here in winter. I enjoy it because, you know, I'm not here to party and that sort of stuff. So I'm here long term and I enjoy everything about the place has to offer. Prices are cheaper as well. There's still a lot you can do and see. But like I said, weather, really great. Winter time, if you're here short term, don't do it. If you're here long term, that's a different story. And I do still recommend winter because it probably beats the Canadian and American winters or the European weathers. Those are the few things. Like I said, watch out for scams, watch out for alcohol scams, speak a little bit Turkish, ask for prices. If you don't like smoking, look at the signs at the restaurant and make sure you don't go to a place that, you know, allows smoking. And honestly, those are the few things that I just have to talk about today. And the longer I stay here, I'll probably make this video again just to kind of give you guys an update about what I've experienced up to then. But for now, this is what I've noticed. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, listen, Turkey, safe, beautiful, cheap. Come here, enjoy it, lovely place, and I'm truly loving it. Turkish people are amazing. Anyways, it's your boy Ari, here from Marmaris, Turkey, on the beautiful coast. And yeah, signing out, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.